So my heart broke the other day when I'm talking to a baby boomer founder about his business. He's ran it for over a decade. He's provided for his family. He broke out of the mold of being an employee to being an entrepreneur to being a founder, and he made it. But now his business is on the brink of failure because his customers don't know how to find him. He doesn't know how to find his customers. And the old way of doing sales and marketing has changed. He didn't adapt to have a modern sales process, and he's stuck and afraid his business will fail. Today, I'm going to share with you the 5 things that we do inside of our businesses. We've acquired baby boomer businesses, we've started businesses, and I want to share them with you today. So let me introduce myself. Engineer by training, but entrepreneur since 2007. I have grown dozens of companies, founded companies, exited 2 companies for 8 figures, and now am simply loving the game of giving back to founders, helping them take their businesses from that launch phase to what we coin momentum phase, which is when you are thriving, not surviving. Okay, so let's jump right into the 5 things that we're doing right now inside our ventures to help our companies get a better, more sophisticated attraction tool. Now, what does that mean? That means we are putting in systems that will ensure we get enough qualified leads at a reasonable cost. We want to maximize that, which is the right thing to be doing in your early stage venture so that you get enough qualified leads coming in, you know your customer, then you can start building nurturing systems, conversion systems, delivery systems. But let's start over on the attraction system, and that's ensuring that you've got enough qualified leads coming in. Okay, so number 1, who is your customer? We are dealing with this in, I can say, 5 different companies we're working in right now, where we're intimately defining who that customer is that our product or service will serve. What do I mean by customer? That's the avatar. Some people will call that the ICP, which is Ideal Customer Profile. You'll hear that word ICP sometimes. And that's simply getting really, really granular and really clear on who your customer is. What is their job title? Where do they live? How many people work in their company? What industry do they serve? What is the revenue that their business works in? All those things really matter because we need to be able to get targeted and niche down on our businesses. We kind of make a joke every week in our companies where Monday we'll set out on our week, Friday we'll do an end of the week recap, and then Monday we find ourselves saying to each other, let's niche down, let's niche down, let's niche down. Continue to niche down, continue to get more clear on who that ICP or that avatar is so that you can then go to step 2. All right, step 2, once you know who your avatar is and you can define them by those categories, now you need a list of them. There are some tools and tricks out there that we could go for. And I'll talk about the mistakes that we've made in our ventures to kind of get you going. First thing we always did is we bought into the fact that somebody can give us a list. Somebody would reach out to us on a DM or an email and say, hey, I have this list. Do you want to buy my list? And we bought those lists. Total crap. Because the leads just are not qualified. They're just not good. They're just garbage, right? So don't fall in the trap of buying a crappy list from some shady internet site that you just never have seen before. The next thing we did when we were trying to get a list was we would hire VAs from overseas to come and help us generate a list. That was all right, but still, it just felt distracted. It just felt that we weren't connected to the avatar, the ICP, enough to know that these are really good leads. These are just names scrubbed from some site, because right now there are AI tools that will just scrub everything, give you a bunch of junk, and you don't know what to do with it. Okay, the third thing we did, which is a little more sophisticated, and we're using that today, is we actually paid for services. We paid for Zoom Info. We've paid for D7 Leads. We've paid for Sales Navigator. We've paid for several of them to test them out. Right now, the plethora of information that we're using comes from Sales Navigator. We pay the monthly $79 fee. We use that to then hone in on who our who is throughout all of our companies. Once we take all the criteria, mark, and decide that we've got the right avatar list, we'll try to get that list down to around 100 to 200 people. Because when you first start searching, you'll realize there are thousands and thousands and thousands of ICPs or avatars out there that you could be attracting. But we want to narrow that down to get as focused and as minute as possible, maybe even by city. Now, if you want to get a little more sophisticated, there are some AI tools out there. Phantom Buster is one that will take a Google Map location and scrub that area for businesses that match your criteria in that sector. We've tried that. We are using that now. We have not been down the road further enough to recommend it, but we are testing it, using it, because it is super fast to say that we're going over to an area. For example, one of our companies was going to Oxford, Mississippi. We put in a geographical area around that on Google Maps, hit the go button, and whammo bammo, we had a scrubbed list of companies, locations, emails from that. So there are some tools out there that we're still testing, but right now our go-to is ZoomInfo and Sales Navigator, because there's just a plethora of information, but they are expensive. All right, the number 3 thing that we're doing inside of our ventures is outreach. Now that we know the who, now that we've got the list, now we got to go after them. So go back 2 years ago. I started posting content organically on every platform, focused on LinkedIn, and then repurposing it to other platforms about 2 years ago. And that was organic. And that built me a tribe. It built me a village of people that I still hang out with, love today, have built businesses with some of the organic folks that we have found. And it's just been a major unlock. But that takes time, because we're not running ads. So we are simply relying on organic search, which Twitter is like peeing in the ocean for me. LinkedIn, okay, cool. Depending on the algorithm changes, we make our tribe. But if you need sales today, you've got to go to those avatars. The old way was pick up the phone and calling. You can still do that. The goal, whether you're doing email outreach, direct message outreach on any of the social platforms, cold calling, showing up at the door, people still do that, or hiring a bunch of consultants to help you get introed. Whatever you're doing, the key is to make a connection, have a conversation, find the opportunity. It's still one-on-one sales. In every bit of the tipping point trajectories where our businesses have gone from here to here, it's been because we had a connection with that person, a human being that we talked to. Now, as you get through your journey, once you get your business from win to win stack to win stack, and you're ready to extrapolate, then you can start talking about email outreach, DM outreaches. There are AI tools right now that will send out spammy messages all over the place. You can do that. The effectiveness is not there. The efficiency is there, but without the effectiveness to match, it just simply doesn't work, right? So make it personal. Find a way to create connections. I've heard 2 different stories. One is 5 connections per day. I love that. The other is 100 touches per day. So that's a text message, that's a reach out, that's a note, that's a touch to your customer every day. Now, there are systems that you need to build around this to help you, and that is number 4. As a founder, you are extremely busy. Your hat going on and off in all different capacities. You're doing 1,000 things. How in the world do you have time to do outreach? You have to get it as a focus point in your day. Take out all the distractions, close the door, get your place in a good location, and make sure you're putting in the reps. 5 outreaches per day, 100 touches. Make the phone calls, pull the bigger levers, reach out to a consultant. Whatever you're doing, you have to be intentional about what you're doing and why you're doing it, because if you don't, your business will. Okay, so let's talk about why we're doing all of this sales and marketing outreach. The goal is to allow you to work in your superpower. We've got to get our businesses with enough win stacks, enough momentum to now put in a sales team if that's not your jam. If you're a product technology manufacturing person, cool. We've got to get those first initial customers to get that flywheel turning so that you can now start supplementing people and systems to make your job easier so that you're focused on your superpower. That's the key. Once we get to our superpower and we've got systems around us, now we're thriving. We've reached momentum phase. We're not over here surviving. Okay, so the big takeaway from today. The big takeaway is we've got to be intentional with sales and marketing. There are a ton of systems out there to help you. We're using many of them. We've tested a lot of them. If we can help you, let us know. Write in the comments, hey, I'd love to hear what tools you're using. Hey, love to hear how that worked over this. What do you think about this over this? And any recommendations for our business. We'll love to do that. We've got a team that can jump in and just give advice, just help, just kind of give you more information to keep you moving along so that you're not stuck in this I don't have no customers mode. All right, friends, Andy Smith, love to talk to you about this. Thank you for staying around. Thank you for being on this journey. And please, good, bad, ugly comments, send them down. Love to keep you going.